Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. When Star Trek Lower Decks came out, I remember that a lot of people were drawing, I guess, parallels between that and Rick and Morty. Some people were saying it was like this, the Star Trek wannabe version of Rick and Morty. I don't know because I've never seen Rick and Morty, so I can't really make that comparison, so I don't know where the parallels might be between the two shows. But having seen Star Trek Lower Decks, I could say it is not a good show in my opinion. I think it is it tries too hard to be funny, and it just doesn't seem to fit in the Star Trek universe. Not just because it's an animated series, because I remember watching the entire original Star Trek, the animated series, based on the original Star Trek series, and I thought that that was kind of a good sequel series to the original live action series, that respected the original series and took situations seriously. There might have been some funny things in it that were intentional and sometimes not so intentionally funny, but I thought it fit in well. With Star Trek, I've always been of the opinion that it has like this level of sophistication to it, and that's also one of the reasons why I didn't care for the Picard series. I felt that that was a little bit lost when you're using the hard, the harder profanity in it. I feel like it cheapens a little bit, but again, that's just my opinion on it, and it just felt that Picard in that series, it felt like a betrayal of the character. But I covered that in a previous live stream, so I won't divert too much from the main point, which is here, Star Trek Lower Decks. Like I said, I watched the series. I didn't care for it. They have their little references and stuff like that to the movies and to other series and things like that, and they even reference other characters at times. But I feel that it's not Star Trek. It's not Star Trek the way I would like to see it, but it's one of these things that came about that nobody really asked for. But does that mean it has a right to exist or not? I don't know. It's here, so it's whatever. And I know people are going to say, well, it's not for you and stuff like that. Well, I disagree. I think Star Trek is for everyone, and I think it's okay for people to have their opinions on it. I have my opinion about it, but I saw this article on Bounding Into Comics, which I'll go ahead and share in the description below, that says Star Trek embarrasses and degrades itself with Star Trek Lower Decks orgy scene. I mean, I would say that it already kind of, embarrasses Star Trek by existing, and again, it's just my opinion, because it's not a good series. I don't think it just fits in well within the Star Trek universe or whatever extended universe that they're trying to make. That's just me. In a scene that was both confusing and yet unsurprising, Star Trek Lower Decks recently pushed a classic piece of franchise lore to a bizarre and overtly sexual extreme. Warning: graphic images from the episode are included below. So we see here, the moment occurred in the 8th episode of Lower Decks, currently airing second season, I Erectus, during a training exercise in which series lead Beckett Mariner is tasked with demonstrating her potential abilities as a captain by running through a hologram simulation based on the Star Trek original series episode The Naked Time. Materializing onto a virtual approximation of the USS Cerritos amidst an outbreak of polywater intoxication, otherwise known in universe as both the Psi 2000 virus and the Silvowski infection. I'm not too familiar because I don't remember those episodes. I've seen Star Trek the original series, many of the episodes, but not like every single one. Same thing with Star Trek the Next Generation. While I've seen several episodes in the past, and I know that I haven't seen every single episode. I've seen probably the most of any Star Trek series I've seen is Star Trek the Next Generation. Except for maybe I probably haven't seen maybe anywhere between 15 to 20 episodes of that series. I've seen a good majority of them, and I've seen all the movies. So Mariner soon encounters her crewmates deep within the disease's throes. However, unlike previous depictions of polywater intoxication, which left the conclusions of the flirtatious behavior sparked amongst the infected by the disease to the viewer's imaginations, the ensign is confronted with a full-blown ship-wide orgy. Though Mariner finally attempts to get a handle on the situation, barking orders at the crew and demanding that they return to their stations, she soon loses her composure after seeing Boimler spread eagle atop the counter of the Cerritos bar. Boimler is like the other main character of the series. He's the one that's always palling around with her in the series. And Steven's riding Ransom like a horse while spanking him with a phallic device. Oh my. These shocking displays eventually lead Mariner to eject herself and the naked crew members into space, netting her a failing grade and ending the simulation. As mentioned above, this is not the first time polywater intoxication has been seen in Star Trek, having played central roles in the aforementioned The Naked Time and the Star Trek The Next Generation episode The Naked Time. However, these episodes saw the more senior members of the respective Federation's crew, disciplined and intelligent, battling to solve the mystery of their affliction rather than immediately giving in to their desires. And while, yes, Lower Decks is meant to be a comedy, it still wants to present itself as a veritable entry in Star Trek lore. And as such, the bit begs so many questions with series lore. Why was such an extreme simulation programmed into a Federation training program? How did anyone who is supposedly willing to give into their urges so immediately get put into a position of leadership? Given what we know of the disease, how is Mariner even expected to pull the ship back from this level of intoxication? That it's left feeling more desperate for laughs than genuine Star Trek humor. And that's the thing. I think that's a good point to bring up at the very end of this article, because that's what Star Trek Lower Decks feels like. It feels like it's just trying really hard to be funny, and it's not. It doesn't feel like any of the... Because aside from it being a Star Trek series, right, it's just not funny. I tried watching it, and there was nothing that I found funny at all. I felt like they were trying way too hard. I felt that, like I said, the jokes were very contrived. Not even a chuckle. It didn't even get a chuckle out of me. And the thing is, I'll give something a try, and I'll admit, like, when something I think is at least funny enough to chuckle at, I will. Not even that. It couldn't even get a chuckle out of me because it felt so forced and so inorganic and just so try hard that I thought it was terrible. And I just I understand why people don't like the series, and they're not helping things by doing stuff like this. And I think it's just only going to get worse. So I'm not really surprised by any of it. Because already, like I said, when I watched it, I was just like, this is just a bad show, period. Not even bad because it's a Star Trek show. I mean, I guess that you could say that just adds insult to injury, but it's just bad. It's just not funny at all. So, really, there's really nothing more that I could say than I'm not surprised, and I don't expect it to get any better. It's probably only going to get worse, and I don't know how much longer a show like this is going to last, but I mean, it got a second season, so I mean, there's some people watching this, or at least they could be doing the whole thing where even though it's not justified for them to continue making this series, they're really going to try to push it just to see if they can win some people over, because that's what they've done with shows like Batwoman, right, on the CW. Batwoman's ratings were so terrible after that before the first season even ended. They had already announced the second season of that show when the ratings did not merit there being a second season. And now that after the second season came out, same thing, the ratings got even lower. But they're still going to do a third season. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't merit it, but they're trying to force it so hard that, thinking that it's going to catch when really people don't care by and large. And I don't know if those numbers are reflected in the Star Trek Lower Decks. Maybe it could be the same situation. I can't speak to that with any kind of certainty, but it could be the same idea, right? With the producers that, let's just keep doing it. Maybe it'll eventually win some people over. I don't know. All I do know is that it's shit. It's shit, and I'm not surprised. And like I said, I expect it to get worse before it gets better. So that's all I really have to say. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Until next time, you know how it goes. The hunt continues.